We close, we close, we close it in. We close it in. We close it in. I say once again, I'm yelling repent to the masses. Spirit war, let's begin. If it's beef, I'ma spin. I'm really feeling like Mike Jackson. Fake friends don't pretend, but I'm yelling out cut, cause they really ain't about that action. Most High told me I'm the captain, so I make waves like I brought my stuff in. I'm reading
successfully by two giant mechanical arms, which the company has dubbed Mechzilla.
You heard it here. Mechzilla has caught the booster.
But shortly after the booster catch, Starship appeared to have engine trouble on the final leg of its trip to space. SpaceX then lost contact. The company says it will launch an investigation into what went wrong. Jeff Brumfield, NPR News.
Americans wound down the year in something of a buying mood. The Commerce Department says retail sales rose 0.4% last month. Government says retail sales for December were higher as consumers shopped for everything from furniture to clothing to restaurant meals. You're listening to NPR News. United Health is posting better than expected profit numbers for its latest quarter. The company says for the 3 months ending in December, it beat Wall Street estimates. It was the first financial report by United Health since the shooting of one of its top executives at a New York City sidewalk by a man who claimed it was over the high cost of health care. United Health says more than 87% of the premiums it collected in the fourth quarter went to cover medical costs. Brazil's highest court has denied former President Jair Bolsonaro's request to leave the country to attend Donald Trump's inauguration, arguing he remains a flight risk. Julia Canaro reports from Rio.
Brazil's former president Jair Bolsonaro had requested permission from the Supreme Court to travel to Trump's inauguration next week. Bolsonaro's passport was seized last February because of investigations into whether he tried to stage a coup after losing re-election in 2022. Supreme Court Justice Alexandre de Moraes denied his request for this trip, arguing there was risk he would try to flee the country and evade justice. Bolsonaro is a fan of Trump and a strong right-wing ally in South America. This week, he told the New York Times he was, quote, feeling like a kid again with Trump's invite. Bolsonaro says his team will appeal the decision. For NPR News, I'm Julia Carneiro in Rio.
Visionary filmmaker and TV producer David Lynch has died. Lynch's works included the cult film Eraserhead, along with Blue Velvet and the TV series Twin Peaks. Lynch went public last year with the fact he was suffering from emphysema after years of smoking. David Lynch was 78 years old. I'm Jack Speer, NPR News in Washington.
Support for NPR comes from NPR stations. Other contributors include Corporation for Public Broadcasting, a private corporation funded by the American people, and the John S. and James L. Knight Foundation, helping NPR advance journalistic excellence in the digital age.
The world is supported by BetterHelp, committed to supporting mental health through therapy. Clients are matched with one of 35,000 therapists and can communicate via video, chat, or phone at betterhelp.com/public.
This is The World. I'm Carolyn Beeler.
And I'm Marco Werman. Thank you for being with us today. We've all been on a roller coaster of news since yesterday's announcement of a ceasefire deal in the Middle East. No one more so than the people on the ground in the region, whose safety, peace of mind, and ability to even imagine going back to normal life hang in the balance.
We begin today's show hearing from people in Israel and Gaza. Starting in Gaza, where bombing continued last night. Shema Ahmed is a student who spoke to us from the southern city of Dar al-Bala.
We survived death so many times, and there were so many negotiations, so many times the deals were about to be made, and then we would have hope, and then it will be broken and shattered again. So this time, this is the closest it ever got to a real deal, and especially with the past 2 days, it's been really, really horrifying. A lot of bombing, a lot of martyrs, a lot of people killed. So we're scared of those last moments. We're scared it's gonna continue like this. Last night was really, really bad. So we're hoping that the coming 2 days are gonna pass peacefully. We're very hopeful that's the case, and that it actually comes to an end.
How have your friends and relatives been managing this constant back and forth that you're talking about? This ceasefire, no ceasefire, ceasefire.
Well, at the beginning, we were all hopeful every time there were negotiations and they were about to have a deal. And then we developed this mechanism to cope with all of this, which is to actually stop having hope. So every time there is talk about a deal, we would imagine as though we didn't hear anything and we would continue with our everyday life. Because now when you lose someone, it is the hardest way to lose them, because you're both hopeful that this is finally going to be the end and that you finally survived this, only to wake up and find the people that you love gone. And a lot of people have died last night, and it was really horrifying.
Can you tell me more about what last night was like?
Last night was full of bombing, especially in the north. We are in the south of Gaza right now, so we're mostly keeping in touch with our relatives over there. And when we talked to my cousin this morning, she said that she really thought she wasn't going to make it because of how crazy the bombing that was taking place was. And even here, there was a lot of tank fire and combat sounds. So we're really very scared, hopeful and scared at the same time.
So it sounds like nothing has changed concretely for you since yesterday when this now tentative ceasefire deal was announced.
Yeah, really, nothing has changed except for the feelings of fear of what the coming 2 days might carry. And we're not even sure if this is actually going to carry through. A lot of people are already congratulating us, telling us that it's finally over and we should, just rest and be, at peace finally. But that's not the case. It is not time for congratulations yet. We're not safe yet. There are people still dying.
You mentioned your cousin.
Woo, oh, woo, oh, woo. Brothers and sisters, good evening, good evening. I know I usually come in the morning time with Spirit Talk News, but as you could see, it was snowing, and I thought that was a good time for to do a little recording, because it's not usually snowing when we do Spirit Talk News, and I thought that was a good visual for you brothers and sisters. But good evening. It is Thursday, the 5th day of the week. It is Thursday. Happy Thursday, the 5th day of the week, and it is January 16th, brothers and sisters. On Thursday, right? 2025 on Rome's calendar, right? So I just want to say peace in Jesus' name, and this will be a quick update. I may not even have to come on tomorrow, because Friday is usually when I come on, Monday, Wednesday, Friday, for Spirit Talk News with your boy, Brother Lion and Zion, out of ICOJ DMV, right? So always be sure to stay linked in and tapped in with what we got, whether it be our posts or our news updates, our 24/7 watch, which is the End of the World podcast, of course, Spirit Talk News, and then we have Spirit Talk, right, Maine, on Friday mornings, right? You can catch Spirit Talk News Monday, Wednesday, Friday. Find those uploads on YouTube. Spirit Talk Maine is live every Friday. We got the Wednesday night Q&A that takes place from our organization, from our church. We got our every Sabbath lesson, all our locations, our 17 locations, including 2 from the headquarters, Friday evening, Sabbath Eve, right, when the Sabbath starts on Friday at sundown, and on Saturday afternoon, the Sabbath day, right? So be sure to check in and stay tapped in with the word, brothers and sisters. And so really quick, I wish it was still snowing. It looks like it is. It's just very light. But I know y'all saw that earlier. I thought that was a real dope shot to get. But really quickly, we are with NPR. I told you on the last episode that we would be switching between Democracy Now! And NPR. So NPR is 88.5 at 8. Maybe that was 8:05. Maybe we heard the intro to the program called The World, and the first thing that they touched on is the potential ceasefire between Israel and Gaza. And then you heard from a woman in South Gaza, in Southern Gaza, explaining the conditions, explaining the feelings, explaining what that means, the back and forth for Palestinians and for Israelis in regards to, and of course, those living in Gaza. So, it's all in connection to the Israel-Palestine conflict, right? When you have all of these different groups, whether it be Gaza, whether it be in Jordan, whether it be in Lebanon, right? You have all of these different groups, right? Iran, you have all of these different groups, these Arab sects of different political, cultural, religious movements, right? Whether it's Hamas, whether it's Hezbollah, whether it's the Houthis, right? Which I know that they, that's the name that we, the people, the general people, know them by. But we know that they have their formal name. And so the point being is, at the end of the day, brothers and sisters, what we need to understand spiritually, the spirit talk behind the news in between Israel and Gaza, or Israel, the Israelis, and these various sects of Arab factions who are who stand with Palestine, against Israel. We have to understand that ceasefires have been declared and broken countless times throughout the years, which even the young lady that we heard in the south of Gaza explained how many people do not even celebrate when that takes place, and even because they've quote unquote gained some historic traction. Oh, look at the snow coming down again. Since they've gained, I'm trying to see what can you see it better? There you go. Since they've gained traction with the ceasefire, brothers and sisters, one method for them who, and our condolences goes out to all lives lost, especially, innocent lives who have been stripped and taken, and families that have been broken up and devastated senselessly. The senseless violence, right, that seemingly persists, unfortunately, is a result of an age-old agreement, a spiritual age-old agreement between the Israelis, the quote-unquote Jews, who we know are Edomites, Idumeans, right? The descendants of Esau, right? When you hear about how Candace Owens, clapped back at that rabbi recently, and quoted Revelation 2:9, Revelation 3:9. Understand, both those chapters are talking about the counterfeit Jew, the Jew that's known in the world, right? Who are Israelis, who are Edomites, and as a result of there being a counterfeit Jew who has stolen the identity of the true Jews, you have to understand that because the rightful descendants and heirs of the land of Israel are not in the land and have not been in the land since the 1st century AD, then we need to understand that there will not and cannot be peace between Israel and our Semitic brothers, the Arabs or the Palestinians, or any sect of any Arab movement that is anti-Israel and pro-Palestine, right? It can't happen, brothers and sisters. It's not going to happen, right? Because the land does not belong to the Palestinians, who are the Ishmaelites, who was the son of Abraham and Hagar. And it does not belong to the Israelis, the Edomites, who are the son, who was the firstborn of Isaac, right? Ishmael was the firstborn of Abraham, but the covenant that God made with Abraham's seed went to Isaac, not Ishmael. So Ishmael doesn't have the true inheritance of God's land. Remember, Israel is God's name, and he chose a specific group of Semitic people to bear his name. He's only done that with the group of people who he delivered out of Egypt, and then as a result of their sin sent them into global slavery. So that's why Revelation 2:9 and 3:9 speaks to the Israeli, and that is the firstborn of Isaac, ESAU, brothers and sisters. So that conflict, since the true Israelites have been out of their land, that conflict has persisted because the main co-conspirators, right, who have banded together to destroy the name and identity and to overtake and falsely claim the land of the Israelites, right? So they've done two great things. They've banded together to destroy, to cut off the name of the true Israelites, and to help perpetuate their oppression and slavery and loss of identity. And then they have claimed the land to be theirs. And when you read the book of Psalm, right, when you read Psalm 83, it spells that out very clearly, how and why this happened, brothers and sisters. And as a result, there cannot be peace in the quote-unquote Middle East. They cannot be peace in God's land until the Prince of Peace returns. Matter of fact, to even take it beyond Israel, there has never been and there will never be world peace until, again, the Prince of Peace, the Messiah, the Anointed One, Jesus the Christ, Yeshua HaMashiach, returns, the King of the Jews, brothers and sisters. So understand, when you read the book of Isaiah and the Lord tells you, right? You read the book of Isaiah 13, you read the book of Isaiah 34, and the Lord tells you that he's going to settle the controversy or the Israeli-Palestinian conflict. Understand why that has to happen. When you read Psalm 83, you realize that. When you read Luke 21, you realize that. When you read the book of Obadiah, you find that out. And when you read Revelation 2 and 9 and 3 and 9, you understand the dynamics of it and how it ends. Understand that the Messiah, the rightful king of Israel, right? Matthew 5 tells you not to swear upon the land of Jerusalem. That's the city of a great king. Jerusalem means city of peace. Salam, shalom. That means peace. And there cannot be peace between the enemies of Israel or in the land of Israel until the Lord comes back. And unfortunately, because of the rebellious nature of mankind, regardless of nationality, the Lord has to wage war against man and all the different nations who are not with or who do not follow God's chosen people, and as a result do not follow the God of Israel through his word and commandments. So understand, this ceasefire really means nothing. You know, it's like a flake, it's like a snowflake on a mountain of snow, right? It's like a snowflake in an avalanche. It really amounts to nothing, brothers and sisters. And even understand, when in the future, when it looks like there is some unprecedented peace in the so-called Middle East between the Israelis and the Palestinians, understand, then that's going to be a global setup for great tribulation. And that's another lesson when we talk about great tribulation, when we talk about the third temple, when we talk about the mark of the beast. But understand, everything you see is happening in alignment with prophecy of the last days. Wars and rumors of wars, nation against nation, kingdom against kingdom, right? So that's it, brothers and sisters, for tonight. I want you to understand that the Most High rules in the kingdom of men, and what individuals need to be concerned about is not who is in office, not the president-elect, not ceasefires between Israel and Gaza, not COVID-19, not bird flu, not food shortages, not TikTok bans, right? Not unemployment, not gun laws. What families and individuals need to be concerned about is how to get salvation, because the kingdoms of this world are going to fall at the behest and return of the Messiah. So you need to learn what to be concerned about. You cannot be tossed to and fro with every headline and every seemingly incidental dramatic event that takes place around the world. We have to have focus, laser focus on prophecy and on what to expect in these tumultuous, dramatic days, in these last days. And we have to have our minds geared towards being obedient to God, because God is coming to wage war with the unlawful, with the wicked, with the iniquity. He even tells you that in Matthew 24, that the love of many shall wax cold. But why? Because he says iniquity shall abound. And sin, by 1 John 3 and 4, is the transgression of the law. That is the problem with the world. That is why he's coming to destroy the wicked out of the earth, the sinners out of the earth, the lawbreakers out of the earth, the disobedient out of the earth. That's why when you read 1 Corinthians 6 and when you read Ephesians 5, it clearly tells you that fornicators, idolaters, drunkards, whoremongers, effeminate, revilers, extortionists, right? Thieves, kidnappers, rapists, adulterers, homosexuals, pedophiles. All of these acts, these heinous, abominable acts, unclean people who eat unclean food, according to God's dietary law in Leviticus 11, right? All of these people who want to serve man-made religions like westernized Christianity and Islam and Buddhism, right? And Taoism. And astrology, you want to focus on the zodiac, right? Or you want to focus on witchcraft and black magic, tarot cards and crystals and the universe. And you want to be your own God, like in Hollywood. All of these people, brothers and sisters, is the reason why the Lord is coming back with flames and fire to destroy the world like he did in the days of Noah. And we are here warning, like John, the Baptist, being that voice in the wilderness, speaking to sound the alarm to make way for the second return of the Lord. So get your houses in order. Repent while today is still today. Seek ye the Lord while he may be found, brothers and sisters. And understand where to find true peace. The Lord said if you just kept his commandments, your peace would be as a river. That's what we need to focus on. And the peace that's going to come as a result of worldwide war, to be safely secured in the kingdoms to come, you have to keep God's commandments. All right. So that has been another episode of that Spirit Talk. And that was Spirit Talk News, brothers and sisters. That was Spirit Talk News. So with that being said, we're going to play a song. Lord willing, we might be able to. We might not. Looks like we might not be able to play it. But let's see what we got going on 89.3. Let's see if there's any jazz that we can maybe listen to.
I have a dream.
Oh, okay. I have a dream.
I have a dream that one day every valley shall be exalted, and every hill and mountain shall be made low. The rough places will be made plain, and the crooked places will be made straight. And the glory of the Lord will be revealed, and all flesh shall see it together. This is our hope. And this is the faith that I go back to the south with. With this faith, we will be able to hew out of the mountain of despair a stone of hope. With this faith, we will be able to transform the jangling discords of our nation into a beautiful symphony of brotherhood With this faith, we will be able to work together, to pray together, to struggle together, to go to jail together, to stand up for freedom together, knowing that we will be free. One day, this will be the day. This will be the day when all of God's children will be able to sing with new meaning, "My country 'tis of thee, sweet land of liberty, of thee I sing, land where my fathers died."
Okay, brothers and sisters, I did not know that that was going to be playing, but understand that Martin Luther King Jr. in his "I Have a Dream" speech was not the words that he used about the Lord coming down and there being, peace and prosperity and equality amongst the nations of all colors and creeds. Understand that that was not talking about America and with integration. Understand that that can only take place through keeping God's commandments and looking forward to the Messiah returning, when there will be peace, when the Prince of Peace returns to make war and set up an everlasting kingdom of peace. Right? Read Isaiah 2 on your own and you'll find out how that's going to happen. And it's only going to happen as Israel continues to wake up and the nations follow Israel, like it says in Zechariah 8. All right. Other than that, all you have to look forward to is war. So that's the reality. That's the reality of it, brothers and sisters. So I hope everyone has a blessed night, a great night, in Jesus' mighty name. And till next time, this has been another episode of Spirit Talk News. Y'all have a blessed one and a blessed Sabbath tomorrow at Friday at sundown. Peace.
We close it in. We close it in. We close it in. I say once again, I'm yelling, repent to the masses. Spirit war, let's begin. If it's beef, I'ma spin. I'm really feeling like Mike Jackson. Fake friends gon' pretend, but I'm yelling out cut, cause they really ain't about that action. Most High told me I'm the captain, so I make waves like I brought my stuff in. I'm reading my